Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hope everyone is well.
Yes, indeed. It's been quite an interesting week. We have just finished attending the CGA Citrus Summit in Port Elizabeth, and it was really incredible.
Yeah, we are spending the night in Mossel Bay on our way back home. We drove down. It's just a little bit easier and quicker with all the gear we had. And for those who follow the page, would have seen the photos of Louise in front of the hotel with all the kit that we used. And we attended the summit to record podcasts. And did we record podcasts? There was, I think we did 11 in total.
11 podcasts in 2.5 days.
Yes.
So that was quite something.
Ja, in Afrikaans we would say ons tande is stomp gepraat.
Our teeth are blunt from speaking.
But yeah, it was my first summit that I've attended. Last year we attended the CRI Symposium, and this is the first CGA summit that I attended. And it was a very special one because it was the last one in the retirement of Justin Chadwick.
Yes, it was really poignant to be there and to see the end of a 25-year career and the send-off for Justin and the welcome for Boitshoko.
Yeah.
And he is an amazing guy. And we had the opportunity to meet him and to interview him and Justin.
Yes.
So the handing over of the baton is happening. And I think the citrus industry is in good hands.
Yeah. Well, if you look at the way the summit was organized and everybody we met there and old friends, new friends, it was the citrus industry is very healthy.
It was an inspiration, actually. And the people that we spoke to some unbelievable people.
Yeah.
One of our first interviews was with Professor Marcos Neves.
Yeah, from Brazil. And I said to Louise, I think we need to learn how to speak Portuguese because we need to go to Brazil. From what he has told us, Brazil feeds 1 billion people in the world. Which is fascinating. It's 1/8 of the total world population. 1/3 of Brazil's GDP comes from agriculture, and there's a want and a need under young people to get into the industry, which is fascinating.
Their land space is growing. Their production, the hectares are increasing, and they are converting extensive grazing farmland into productive field crops. So the farming is going from very extensive farming to slightly more intensive farming.
Yes,
and
on the horticultural and on the animal side.
Very much so. And one of the interesting things he mentioned was that people have a perception that because their agricultural production is increasing, it must be because they are cutting down the rainforest and using that land. And he was very he was very clear to point out that that is not the case and that they actually have some of the strictest environmental laws about keeping reforesting parts of the land. And what was it, 20%?
No, it was depending on which zone in Brazil that you are. That if the further south you are, which is drier, more savanna type climate, you need to reforestate 20% of your land. The further north you go, if you are right next to the rainforest, 80% of your land that you own must be converted back into natural forest. So if you think about it, if you've got 1,000-hectare farm, you can effectively only farm 200 hectares of it. The rest must be natural forest again, or natural vegetation again. So it is fascinating. So that's why they are increasing the intensity of the agriculture on the limited space. They've got a lot of space, but that space is limited. So they must optimize it as best as possible. It was a fascinating discussion.
Absolutely incredible. And it's amazing how the perception in the world is out there that we've seen the fires in the Amazon in the last couple of years, and immediately people come to the conclusion that they're burning the Amazon in order to plant more land. And he was at pains to say this is definitely not the situation, which is really good news.
Yeah. So after him, we had a gentleman from that works for the CGA who's based in Washington, Nick. I'm gonna really stuff up his
I'm not
surname.
even going to try.
Yeah,
but it was also very, very
yes,
interesting.
And Nick is based in Washington, and he helps the CGA, the Citrus Growers Association, with matters on the ground in the States. So, which there is at the moment quite a few, which is keeping him busy. And then we had a chat to a very interesting gentleman from China who's a fruit buyer in South Africa. And he told us some of the things that what the market is looking for in China. We had a chat about different fruits and citrus and grapes and all these things, which is quite interesting.
And he was actually pointing out how much demand there is. So, in fact, it's good news. Good to know that our fruit is in demand, and that the Chinese are looking for it.
Our fruit is in demand because of the quality that we produce.
Indeed.
Not necessarily the quantity that we can deliver, but the quality. So, which is
and that is a very good reputation to have in the Chinese market, because they really, really are after quality. And he was here looking specifically for quality, which is quite remarkable.
Then that was on Monday. That was even before the summit started. So everybody was doing a field tour. They were visiting the foundation block. And while this was happening, we were recording interviews with people that was already at the hotel in PE. Yes.
Okay. And then yesterday, help. Who did we speak to yesterday?
I can't even remember everybody we spoke to.
It's been a whirlwind,
Yeah,
but remarkably interesting and inspiring.
Yes, we got to listen to Frans Cronje give a presentation about the state of the country, and then Dawie followed him, which is really interesting as to where the country is. And then we had the fortunate time to spend about 20 minutes with Louise's hero, standing around.
Frans Cronje. It was remarkable to have the opportunity to speak to him in person. It's I really follow him closely and find him incredibly inspiring and astute. So to meet him in person was really quite special. And then we also met Jose Antonio Garcia.
Yes.
Who, along with Justin Chadwick, the two of them co-founded the World Citrus Organization in 2019.
And we had a fascinating discussion with him of what the World Citrus Organization is doing for the global citrus industry and how everybody's working together, and the politics in Spain and Europe versus Africa. It was a very interesting discussion, and what a humble guy.
Yes, what a very nice, easy to chat to, friendly, humble guy. Imagine just thinking, we'll start a world organization, and there it is, and it exists, and it has turned into a very valuable forum for international, for the whole citrus industry from all countries to get together and speak, especially when there are topics, as he called them, hot topics, which need to be discussed and work towards a resolution. So they've created a very important forum, and they have quite exciting prospects for it going forward about trying to drive consumption around the world. So that was quite fascinating.
And then we sat down with who was next? The group from Zimbabwe.
Yes.
Most of them I knew from my visits there, and for those who follow closely, I've talked about Zimbabwe many times. Fascinating country, amazing people. And we had it wasn't a long chat, it was like in between two sessions. And we quickly just had a quick chat about what's happening there, how's it going, and how they are finding the summit and interesting things. So
yes, and then we spoke to Rocco Rinaldi.
Not before that was John Roberts.
Okay.
John Roberts from the CGA Cultivar Company. Now the Cultivar Company falls under the CGA umbrella, and they manage citrus cultivars, the rights on some of these royalty varieties that they are the managers to.
And the evaluation of new, so evaluation and management of citrus varieties, cultivars. So that was very interesting to hear about new cultivars and about the pink oranges.
Yeah, the interesting thing that came out that we didn't know is because the hot topic on everybody's lips at the moment in the citrus industry is orange juice. A lot of people made a lot of money with orange juice last year. And what now? is the demand going to be there? Do people need to put in juice plants? People need to actually plant varieties for juice? And by the figures, it looks like the South African growers is like gone full on. But by the sounds of it, it was 80%, 80,
Yeah,
if I remember correctly.
It was just crazy.
Of the new buds that was ordered for plantings was Valencias
potentially for orange juice.
And, that could potentially be juiced.
And why is the juice price what it is? Well, Brazil is the world's biggest producer of orange juice, and in the last 2 or 3 years, they, due to environmental reasons and to a disease called HLB, their citrus production has taken a serious knock. So no more citrus, very little orange juice. So suddenly they're looking everywhere else in the world for orange juice, and they look to South Africa. So suddenly,
not just South Africa, yes, but everybody else,
all over. But South Africans also benefited.
Yes, and everybody benefited. And as Justin said, I think Egypt is putting in 3 big juice factories.
That's right.
Egypt is a massive citrus production unit in the world. So. Yes. Is this a bubble that's going to burst? Is it going to last 2 years, 5 years, 10? Nobody knows. And an interesting thing that John spoke about is that navel oranges is not
traditionally
juice oranges.
It was never traditionally used for juice
because it contains a very high amount of limonene. It is a massive tongue twister. Low levels of limonene. so it's got traditionally navel's got a high level of limonene, which makes it bitter, the juice. Now, what they've found recently is that the pink oranges, the caracaras and the likes of that, has got very low levels of limonene. So they are exploring the possibilities of that, and the pink orange has got a massive health potential going forward. There's currently massive studies underway, and Louise has done an extensive article on that, which is available on our LinkedIn page under the articles, and I think it's on the website already as well.
I think it is.
If it's not, we'll make sure
it's very interesting. But back to the navels. So traditionally, navels were never used in orange juice because they tend to have, after a day after squeezing, the flavor goes bitter. But as Dewald was saying, they've discovered that on some of the navels, towards the end of the season, the level of limonene
goes down,
drops, and actually, instead of just saying, well, you can't use them for juice, actually, you can use them for juice.
Yes.
So that's
the level was high in the beginning of the season, and as the fruit gets ripened, that level starts going down. So suddenly, when people look at things a little bit differently, potentially some navels can also be used for juice. So that was quite cool. Yes.
And then Rocco
Rinaldi, who's the CGA representative in Brussels, who heads up a big PR firm in Europe. We had a long chat about policies and how they are involved in helping the South African citrus growers get through these World Trade Organization cases that they've laid against and trying to prove it with science that the phytosanitary requirements from the EU is not founded in science. So it was fascinating. Very good conversation.
Yes, the South African citrus industry currently has a appeal and a dispute in front that they are presenting to the World Trade Organization. This is a very big deal, and this is current. So having somebody like Rocco in Brussels in our corner and helping the South African citrus industry is very important. And we really just hope that things are going to go well for the citrus industry.
Yes.
And he had a lot to tell us about that.
Yeah. And then that was that for yesterday. And then this morning, our first podcast was with Mitchell Brook, which is an old familiar face on our channel. And he spoke about logistics and possible new plans that they want to put into place to help the flow of containers into the existing infrastructure that's there, to help get the containers loaded quicker, which is also very good.
Quite exciting, significant new plans.
Yeah,
So
I just hope that they manage to get it all pulled together, because that would be
it's
incredible.
a huge battle, and they've been fighting it for a long time with limited success. So we really do hope that these plans and that the road forward is going to be better for logistics.
Yes. And then right after that, we had an incredible conversation with two young, very successful Black people in the citrus industry.
Yes, they are both Black graduates, and they are both employed as agronomists at
SRCC.
Yes, Sundays River Citrus Company.
Yeah.
And we spoke to them very, very candidly and very frankly what it is like for young Black graduates to move into the citrus industry, and how they cope with bringing themselves and what they have to offer into a commercial citrus environment, and what it's like for them to move into that. And it was delightful and refreshing to get their insights. So,
and they were just fantastic guys. It was,
yes.
I can't think of two better ambassadors for the industry than those two young men.
So watch this.
There are many others. There are many others that we've discussed that would also be fantastic in this.
But we found them, and they worked extremely well. And they
and interestingly enough, they wanted to talk about it.
Yes.
So when I gave the idea, they
jumped at it.
They said,
yes,
we spoke about this the other day. We really want to talk about this. So
yes.
Well, there we had it.
So let's see. And then we spoke to Nikki Stewart from Stardust, and she is doing promotions about South African grapefruit.
Marketing
campaigns. They are kicking off a marketing campaign in Europe, starting in Germany in May, and just promoting the wonderful South African star ruby. And they're going to be calling it
the Summer Star Ruby.
South African summer, help me.
The summer grapefruit from South Africa.
That's right. So that's quite exciting. So what an incredible whirlwind of conversations and inspiration and new things. And, the Citrus Summit was such a buzz, so exciting and so inspirational.
Many hours for me in front of the computer putting it all together for you guys. But it will be worth it to listen to the conversations again while I'm editing them. So I'm not looking forward to it, and I'm also looking forward to it. It's one of those things. But we can't wait to get them out over the next couple of weeks to everyone. And we just want to say thank you to CGA that they allowed us to come and record podcasts with people there, and the help that they provided us. And to all the friends we saw there, new friends, old friends, it was great to catch up, and it was a fantastic event.
And thanks always for your enthusiasm, your friendship, and encouragement for us to be doing these things. Come away from something like that, rubbing shoulders with people, seeing people, you feel so energized and so excited about the future of the citrus industry. The South African citrus industry is an incredible industry to be involved with, and we came away feeling so positive and excited about the future. So thank you.
Yeah, so you guys will probably be seeing this Friday morning, tomorrow morning. It's now 9 o'clock in the evening. We're going to have something to eat and drink, and then eat the bed, because we're going to be up tomorrow morning early to eat the road back up. So thanks for everybody.
Thank you very much.
See you next week.
Bye.